Hello and welcome to Game Day from the UK, another Miami Heat UK live pre-game streaming show. Tonight we're here to preview tonight's game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We are one down today. We have no Sam, but I'm here with my usual two guys. John Jablonka, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Good stuff. And Danny Ronaldo, how are you, sir?
All good, mate. Thank you.
Good stuff. How are we feeling, guys? How are we feeling? Because we're not going to do the usual format tonight. We normally start with sort of going over last game and where we thought we was good and not so good and so on. I'm not going to do any of that tonight. We're going to look at the Timberwolves. That's in the second half of this little show, but we're going to look at the mess that is the last few seeding spots and the play-in seeding spots in the East. And yesterday, I had this sort of strange wave of optimism, and I was trying to talk myself into maybe finishing this season 5-1, maybe even 6-0. I was really going for it. I was feeling good. And this morning and today, I've looked at it and I'm thinking, nah, no way, no way. So we're going to collectively look at this, guys, and we're going to try and between us, we're going to come up with a 4, 5, 6, and 7. I think the Hornets are sort of locked into 8. 9 and 10 is going to be Pacers, Wizards, whatever way round. I actually think it's going to be Wizards and Pacers. But 4, 5, 6, 7 is anybody's game. So we're going to look at it right now. Already, look, my brother's giving it to me. Yeah, I am a dreamer. Yes, I know.
Yes,
I don't know what I was thinking. But we're going to be a bit more optimistic today. We're going to be a bit more realistic today. Sorry. Yes, Grant, we're all admiring your initial optimism. Yeah, it wasn't maybe optimism. It was just blind-sighted stupidness. Right, guys, here we go. The Knicks currently sit in fourth, 37 and 29. Hawks are in fifth, 37 and 31. So the Hawks only have 4 games left. Everybody else has 6. The Celtics and Heat currently 6 and 7 on the same record, 35 and 31. Let's just go through this, guys. We're going to start with the Knicks. The Knicks have their remaining 6 games. The Suns, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Spurs, the Hornets, the Celtics. That is by far the toughest running. Danny, I'm going to start with you. They're on 37 wins at the moment. Mm-hmm. What do we think through that? Because 1, 2, 3, 4... Well, they've still got 3 more games away. And then they've got the Spurs, the Hornets, and the Celtics. I don't know how many of them are at home, but I know the next 3 conclude their West Coast trip. What are we thinking here? As I said, Suns, Clippers, Lakers, Spurs, Hornets, Celtics. All of those are tough.
Yeah, this is going to be a true test for the Knicks in these next few games. It's going to be a test to see if they're legit or not. You know, hats off to them for being where they are right now. Sitting in the 4th seed, who would have ever thought, in these past sort of, I don't even know how long it's been now, like 10 years or something, that they'd be sitting in the 4th seed. It's going to be a real test for them. I don't think they're going to come out smiling at the end of this stretch of games before the postseason. Are you asking me to put a number on it?
Oh yeah, out of those 6, how many wins do we think they're going to get? Because we need to come up with a win total for each of these 4 teams, which is going to obviously is going to determine the seeding here. So yeah, right. that's by far the toughest out of these teams we're talking about. But what I think personally is, even though they will drop games there, I still had them coming through that 3 and 3, and the reason why I say that is because I think they will dig in so much deeper because they won't want to do all this work. They've done so well. Hats off to them. I don't see them dropping now. I think that they'll find every inch in them to get 3 wins there. What do you think?
Do you think they've got that in them?
I think that when you look at the next, let's just say right off the next 3, right? Let's just say Suns, Clippers, Lakers end up being 3 Ls. Spurs are fighting for their lives, but obviously so are the Knicks. I think that one's at home, so I think they'll take that. Hornets, I think, will be locked in. That's the second from last game. I think they'll just be accepted that they'll be in 8th by then. They won't be going any higher. They won't be dropping any lower. So I think they'll take that. They may even be resting players. Celtics is going to be a tough one as well. They need every win. Don't get me wrong. They might even take that Lakers game, because they're now without
Yeah,
LeBron.
true.
Is I don't know how long he's out for. I think they said about another week again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ponder it. John, what do you think?
I've got
Okay, go on.
I've got my estimation.
Go.
I think 4-2.
4 wins.
No, no, sorry,
Two,
2-4.
2-4.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think they're going to drop games to. They're going to pick up wins. Excuse me, from. So I've completely lost who they're playing.
Spurs and Hornets.
Spurs and Hornets. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Spurs
Okay.
and
So
Hornets.
we're taking L's against Suns, Clippers, Lakers, Celtics. That's not that's by no means that's not a cold take, a hot take at all. I think that's fair enough. John, any different on that? What are your thoughts on the Knicks and their resurgent season? Can they see this through?
I think they will play harder than those teams. That
Yes.
I still think they will lose to either like Clippers and Suns, maybe the Lakers. But I think they will win Hornets and Spurs. And because they will play hard, I think they will get one more win against the top teams and be 3-3.
I'm on the same train of thought as that. See, I think any other time you look at that and think, well, they might pick up a win there. But I think that out of those last 6 games, but I think that they'll be, as you just said there, they will be playing so hard to try and get that 4-5 seed. And I think that they'll do it. I think they'll get those 3 wins. Let's say, okay, so we've got 2 wins from Danny. Me and John are both saying 3 wins. That puts them on 40. Okay, let's move on to the next team, which is the Hawks. Only 4 games left for them. They have 37 wins already.
They've got an easy schedule too.
Their final 4 is easy, but having said that, they've got the Wizards twice up next, who are on a tear. They look one of the best teams in the league at the moment, the Wizards. But then they finish it as piss easy as you could get with the Magic and the Rockets, who will just be well and truly on the beach by then. So let's just all collectively assume they're going to roll over the Magic. They're going to roll over the Rockets. With the Wizards series, that's a really, really tough one because both need the wins. The Wizards are playing. The Wizards are gonna. They're not a million miles away from getting that 8, but I think that realistically, the highest they'll probably go is 9. But every game they're playing at the moment, they're taking it to the wire. They're picking up wins, but even the games they're losing, they're overtime losses. They're taking every team to the wire. Russell Westbrook is looking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. He's actually playing well for the team as well, which is something that gets overlooked as well.
Exactly, and like you get him and Bradley Beal on the same page, and that's scary. That's scary. So, what do we think here, John? Wizards, Magic, Rockets. Do we think there's a couple of wins there? 3 wins?
Magic, that's a definite win. Unless and for Houston, unless Kelly goes off, I'd see that as a win. For the Wizards, I think I'm gonna go. I'm believing in Russ and Bill more than Trae Young, so I think Russ will have bigger games and will beat the Hawks twice.
Okay, so you're going 2-2.
Yeah,
Danny, what do you think?
3-1.
I agree, 3-1. I think that they will take. I think that they might lose the first game and then realise that we probably need. We're almost desperate for that win.
It'll either come down to that, or they'll win the first game, and the Wizards will be like, we need to get a grip here, and we need to pull something out. I think.
Yeah, I think looking at the Hawks and Wizards, I think that's probably fair to assume that would maybe end up being a split. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if they lost both of them. But I think I'm siding slightly with you there, Danny. I'm going to say they take one of those Wizards games, and then they obviously they pounce on and absolutely annihilate the Magic and the Rockets. So that again, that's 3 wins. That puts them on 40. Right, guys. Then come the Celtics, who again have a pretty easy schedule here. Bulls, Heat twice, Cavs, Thunder, Knicks.
So Timberwolves next.
No. Celtics are Bulls next, then the Heat twice, then the Cavs, then the Timberwolves. Sorry, not the Thunder. Timberwolves, then the Knicks. Can't read my own writing. Okay, let's just assume we'll come on to the Heat seed of it in a minute, but let's assume again that Heat series, 2 games back to back, both of them being in the TD Garden. Doesn't really help our cause, but let's just assume that's a split. Okay, Bulls, Cavs, Timberwolves, Knicks. What do you think, Danny?
I mean, I don't know. The Celtics have been playing weird this season.
They have.
They've been playing very similar to the Heat. They're up and down a lot.
Yeah.
But they could. I mean, I look at this. I'm looking at the schedule right now. They could technically win out that whole.
How is Brown and Tatum? Because they were injured. They had that foot.
I think that Brown is expected back imminently. I think I'm pretty sure I just read something. I saw something to say that I think he might even be as early as. Are they playing tonight? I think they are playing tonight. I think it could be as early as that. But if not, I think it might be. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually sits tonight against Chicago and then he's back ready for the Heat doubleheader. I'm not sure about Tatum. What do you think here, John? Then, so let's say health or not. Like Danny said, and I completely agree. They're very Heat-esque, aren't they? They're up, down. They're inconsistent.
Yeah. I'll still say we'll split the Heat series. Cleveland, that should be a easy win. The Bulls as well.
Yeah.
I think they could lose to the Knicks.
Okay.
So that's 1, 2.
Yeah, and the Timberwolves is the other one.
Wait. So I think they go 3-3 or 4-2.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think 4-2. Danny, what do you think?
That's tough. Like I just said, they could. Dependent on health, I wasn't aware about Brown coming back, but even still, even if he doesn't, they could technically win out this. To be honest,
they could.
I think the whole argument, the whole reason why we're doing this is to figure out where we lie.
Exactly.
Right, and I think if we win out that series against the Celtics. Yeah. Then I think we're golden. But I think this all rests on whether or not we win out that series against Celtics. And I don't see that happening either. So I think they'll drop one to us. And they'll drop one to the Knicks.
Okay. Right. Well, we've said 3-3 from the Knicks earlier. So perhaps that is where that third win comes from. They get it off of the Celtics. You're right, Danny, that they have got the potential here to win out the season, which would see them probably solidify the fourth spot, let alone anything else. I think there's every chance here, 5-1, but let's go realistic. They are inconsistent. As I said, they've got a bad result in them, just like the Miami Heat have. I agree. Let's say that I don't see us doing them twice. I don't see them doing us twice either. I think that's almost certain to go as a split. And let's say they do drop another game, because that's their style. They drop a game somewhere where they shouldn't. So that's 4-2. That puts them on 39. Okay, so that at the moment, we're saying that's good for 6th. Which means we come on, for the point of this reason, to the Miami Heat, who have the Timberwolves tonight, back-to-back against the Celtics, the 76ers, the Bucks, the Pistons. That's not very nice. That's not very nice. Now, I think that, let's just take the Timberwolves and the Pistons as wins.
Don't say that.
If we dare, let's take them as wins, right? Now, let's also say that we do split the Celtics series, as we've just said. That's 3 wins, okay?
Yeah.
Do you see, John, any chance here that we take anything off of the Sixers, off of the Bucks? The Sixers, by then, might have got their top seed spot secured.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 5-3-8 predictions. They got the Sixers coming up first by a decent margin, by 4 wins. So I think they would probably rest, considering last year they were injured, so they would probably rest by then. But the Bucks, they've been winning, so I don't think they will rest any guys to clinch that second seed.
Yeah, that's it. Well, they're on their own little surge at the moment, which I think now they'll get that second seed. But every game will count for them as well, and they don't take it easy in the regular season. I'm with you. I think that the Sixers will sit players. We saw last year. I think Ben Simmons got injured, didn't he, at the end of the regular season?
Yeah,
I seem to remember. And he struggled. So they might that might be in their mindset. So there is a potential there that you might pick that one up. That would give you that 4th win, 4-2. I would take that right now. But 4-2 would then give you 39, and then we would then finish 7th regardless. So really, the whole season here looks like it's going to be dependent on that Celtics doubleheader and probably taking both of them. So even though I had this wave of optimism yesterday, when I started to break it down, I think we're heading for the play-in, guys. Now, if that's the case,
can I? So it's a win tonight.
Yes,
we're gonna split the Celtics.
Okay,
right? Sixers are gonna rest some players. We're gonna win that, and then we get to the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
I know the Bucks are different this year. I don't care. I take us against the Bucks. Huh?
We beat the Bucks already without Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the Bucks. I wanna go at them again. I just like it. We take that win and we take the Pistons win. We go 5-1.
See, look, Danny said I've got to stop being more optimistic, and he then comes in with a 5-1.
Look, I'm just channeling, I'm just trying to channel that energy, and I've got a feeling, man. I don't know. They could completely upset me, and I could be depressed for the next couple of weeks. But 5-1, that's how I think it's going.
I love the one. I love the complete 360 here, because when I started this episode and I talked about this wave of optimism I had, and I said I think we could go 5-1, I looked straight at Danny and he went,
"Oh, did I?"
And now he's going 5-1, 5-1.
Well, now that I've got it in my face and we're talking about it, and I think the fact that you mentioned that the 76ers might potentially rest some guys. Because I think the Sixers matchup for me was the one that I was the one that I was going to drop. So I was most likely going to think 4-2, but it depends. If they don't rest players, then that's going to be a different story, and it's going to be a much harder game to win. So, but yeah, that's my take.
Look, regardless, the Heat have got their work cut out for the end of the regular season, and it may be that they play really well towards the end of these, this final stretch, and still don't make that top six. If it does come to a play-in situation, I'm not concerned about the play-in, because you've only got to win 1 out of 2 games and you're in. I'm more concerned about the lack of rest. We've got a lot of veteran players on this team now. They need this rest. We're not going to be able to game plan, and this will be all for the privilege of probably playing the Sixers or Nets/Bucks. So whatever happens, it's not the greatest situation. So just very quickly before we preview quickly on the Timberwolves game tonight, John, if there's a team out of Hornets, Pacers, and Wizards that you don't want, who would that be?
Oh yeah, don't want Hornets.
You don't want the Hornets?
No, I don't want Monk going off for a career high in the play-in.
This is true.
Pacers are without Turner as well.
Yep.
And they've been tragic recently.
Yeah.
The head coaching stuff. So I think that will be a much easier matchup.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned at all about the Pacers. That's probably my most favoured, even though I've got players sort of coming back. But I'm sort of more concerned about the Wizards at the moment. I think they're really hitting momentum at the right time, and momentum is everything at the moment. They seem to just be riding such a wave. And Russ, as I said, is just playing probably the best basketball of his career at the moment. So that's the team that I'd probably want to avoid, which seems crazy that we're worried a little bit about can we topple the Knicks, and now we're fearing the Wizards. What's going on in this season, man? Danny, what do you think?
I agree with you, Dan.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think coming off the back of the Hornets win, I feel a little bit more comfortable playing them. So if we were to be in that play-in and we were facing maybe Washington, then maybe a little bit more concern. I don't particularly want to be in the play-in. I think everyone is the same way. That one and done situation. Yeah. Well, that's the lower part. But regardless, no one wants to be there. But I think we'll come out of it regardless of if we're in it. It's just a bit scarier than if we were to get in the traditional way. Yeah, I'm fine with whoever we get, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not the idea of. I think if we end up in the play-in, we're only, the lowest we're going to finish is probably 7th now. So we're going to be in the play-in if we're going to get in there. It's not that worries me, because, as I said, you only got to win 1 of the 2 games and you're in. And I fancy us to do that, because we will be the best team in that play-in scenario. But it's the rest, and it's the matchup, and it's the you can't game plan and all that. That's what worries me.
Speaking of that, if we're 6 or 7, would you want the Bucks or the Nets, because they can go either way in the first round?
Yeah, I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure who I want, because we match up quite well against the Bucks, as we've seen, but they're better, man. This year they're better. They're a good outfit this year. But But having said that, I predicted the Nets to come out of the East, and I'm going to stick with that prediction. So I'll probably still side with the Bucks. But yeah,
if you really think about it, who do we have a better chance of beating in a playoff series? And it's the Bucks.
Yeah, I agree.
Simple,
Yeah, that's it. Right, guys, let's come on quickly then to the Timberwolves game tonight. Very quickly with the stats. So Timberwolves 20 and 46, Heat now 35 and 31. They are 8 and 25 away, so they're a bad away team. 19 and 15 at home at the Heat. They're on a 6-4 run at the moment. No, we're on a 7-3 run. We're -6.5 fancied with the bookies. So they've lost their last 2, I think, the Timberwolves, but they won 3 before that, John, against the Jazz, the Warriors, and the Rockets. So they can turn it on still, this team, can't they? And the Heat have lost their last 4 games against Minnesota. In fact, I saw just before I come on, the Heat have not beat Minnesota since Jimmy Butler has arrived.
I think this late in the season, I don't think Jimmy will let, or just anyone go, because every win's important. So I don't think they will come out slow or just let them outplay them. So I think we should be worried about this loss.
We shouldn't be worried about this one, right? Okay. Having said that, then Oladipo's out, as we know. Hero and Butler are questionable. From what I hear, Jimmy probably will play, maybe not Tyler. But again, let's say that they both don't play. John's just said there, this isn't a game we should be worried about. What if they're all out, Danny?
Jimmy's not going to not play. I can't see it. I mean, a hypothetical, if he doesn't, then fine. My prediction of going 5-1 is out the door. I don't think that we've got enough to not that Minnesota is anyone to be feared necessarily, but without Jimmy, this thing doesn't go anywhere really. We can scrape some wins together here and there and some nice ones too, but I don't know. I don't feel comfortable without Jimmy, especially this late in the season. So I expect him to play. I expect to get a win, and I think like a nice key difference is, I think last time we struggled with rebounding, and we've got Dwayne Dedman now. So, that's a nice touch. And also, we only scored 18 in the fourth against Minnesota last time.
Yeah.
So we had a bit of trouble closing out. So, I expect to win tonight, and I expect Jimmy to play.
Yeah, okay. The Timberwolves one was the game there where after that loss I took a day off of Twitter because that was the final game of that West Coast road trip where we all sort of said, well, sort of mini road trip. It was a 4-game road trip, and we all said, oh yeah, we'll take 2 and 2, we'll take 2 and 2, and the Timberwolves was the last game to get us up to that 2, and we fucked it up. So that was a horrific loss. John, should we be concerned at all about Edwards dropping 42 last time out, despite them still losing? But Edwards, D'Lo, and Towns on the court still gives you problems, does it? Or again, you shrugged your shoulders at this. Is it the same question? No problems here.
I'd say yeah. He's a rookie. I don't see him dropping another big night again. When did he drop 42 last game?
Last game, yeah.
I don't think he'll continue to do that.
Yep.
He's nice though.
What?
He's
nice
player.
though.
Yep.
He's nice. Yeah.
He
Sorry. Keep going, John.
I think more to worry is be Towns killing us. But we have the best centre in the league. We got Dedman,
the best backup centre in the league.
Not backup, just the best.
Okay, right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. You were talking. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I thought we were talking about Bam being the best. I thought we talked about Bam being the best centre, and Dwayne Dedman is like just right. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
John, this I'm gonna hit you with this as well because this seems like a John Jablonka question here. But the last 15 games, as we know, the Heat have been a good defensive team this year and a poor offensive team. The last 15 games, that's turned around. I don't know if you've seen this, but we're a good offensive team, top 10 offensive team, and we're 21st in defensive rating in the last 15 games. Reasons for this, John? I know this is your sort of thing that your bread and butter here. No,
I don't know. Maybe how many games has Jimmy or Bam missed in those 15?
I don't think it's been a lot. I think Jimmy's only missed 1 or 2, maybe. I don't think Bam's missed any, has he?
Jimmy's been out 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the reason. Maybe scheming, because like versus the Mavs, and pretty much any other team, we just trap the best player and then let the role players kill us, and then just the role players been killing us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the stats here that we're 26th in the last 2 weeks on defense.
Shit.
What is
What
this
That's
team?
what I mean.
Honestly,
This team is so weird, so weird. I don't know how to judge them. And this is the problem now: is that you just don't know. We keep saying every week that one day this will flip and it will get better, and we've got the time's running out. And you just think we still don't know whether this team is actually very good or not. It all remains to be seen.
This was another weird thing, not a Heat related, but New Orleans went from they were like 29th in defense, and in the last 2 weeks they were now first.
Who knows this season? Look, we can tell that the Knicks are good. That should be enough to say how weird this season is.
This is true.
This is it. So we'll leave it there, guys. Let's just wrap up with the usual predictions then. John shrugged his shoulders. This should be no problem. Danny was pretty much the same as well. So I think I know where this is going to go. John, let's start with you. What are we thinking tonight?
If Jimmy doesn't play, I'm expecting a big tragic night after a few nights rest, and I'd say Heat by 10.
Yeah, that's a good point as well, by the way. Yep, we are refreshed. Haven't played now for 3 nights. So, yep, that's good. Heat by 10. Oh, by the way, Heat by 10. Me and John said Heat by 10 in the last game, the last live we did. So, little pointer there to me and John. Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know, Heat by 12.
Okay, so both relatively convincing wins. Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm going to go slightly less. Let's go Heat by 8. So 8, 10 and 12. We'll see who comes up on top. Let's hope and pray that this one is in the bag, because if this one isn't, I don't know if I want to watch the rest of the regular season, to be honest. This one has to be take care of business. Let's hope we do so. 1 a.m. tip, usual place for the in-game comms at the Miami Heat UK. Next game is a Sunday afternoon, so I don't think we'll be live streaming from Gameday from the UK. It's always a bit tough with times. So it's a 6 p.m. game, so I don't think we'll be doing the live, but we'll catch up the following game after that. We'll see. So hopefully the next time we speak, guys, there'll be a couple of wins under the belt. Let's take care of business tonight. Enjoy the game, guys.